Righty then. Okay, Joseph.
Hello. How
Yeah,
are you?
the good. The wonders of technology. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Come on in, everyone. Come on in. Let us know. Show us some love. Let us know that you can see us and that we're actually broadcasting. Yep. So I think we are. And if not, Laura will come on anyways. Yeah, there we are. Hey, thank you for this beautiful topic conversation. Many blessings to you both. Hey, Donna, Doreen, Brenda. Hello, everyone. Come on in. Namaste from North Carolina. Namaste. Namaste. I like that. Sandy. Hey, guys. Come on on. Come on. Good morning from Australia. Good morning. Oh, Rosemary Russo. Hey, darling. Hello. Jennifer. Yes, yes, yes. It's good to let us know where you're from, guys, too. All right. Joe and I we got a little time with you. Okay. Hello from the East Coast. Yes. And Joe, you're in New York, I take it? Somewhere
I'm
in the
in
woods?
Western New York. Out in the woods.
Yep. Okay. Let a few more people come on. Come on, everyone. Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome, welcome on this beautiful summer afternoon. And thank God it's not 100. but you know, Joe, when it comes to the weather, I know that's not really how we're talking about, but while people come on here, I try not to complain about the weather because being on the East Coast, you know how it is. People are like, it's too cold. I can't wait for summer. Then when it's summer, it's like, it's too hot. You know, it's like,
More something to complain about, sure.
exactly. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Come on, everyone. Come on. Oh, hello. Oh, Italy. Hey, Elena. Hello. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Synchronistically, too, also speaking of Italy, and spirit does use synchronicity, and so does your soul and intuition, is I'm researching the Italian side of my family. So
Wow.
I know some stuff is going to come up there, but we can't get past a certain grandmother, great grandmother. It's like there's the secrets. It's the secrets that they brought to the United States. So, but we'll get in there. But I'm sure a whole new world of visual is going to open up for me also. So anyway, but hello, everyone. Welcome. We'll start, Joe, because these beautiful people are here on time. So thank you. And I'm John Holland. For those who don't know me, I've been doing this work for, I don't even say 20 years anymore, Joe, decades. And yep, you can get to, you can grant permission to StreamYard to comment. And I'm an author of 6 books, 3 apps, and the new apps just came out too, and 4 Oracle decks, 3 Oracle decks, and 1 teaching deck, the mediumship training deck. And this is my colleague and friend, Joe Shiel. And I've known Joe for a number of years, and I've always wanted to work with a guy. Love working with women, don't get me wrong, but Joe and I are similar. We're from New England, and Joe also has a very strong, born with it, artistic ability. So when I saw, because Joe, I saw spirit art over in England with Coral Polish, and then I found you and Rita Berkowitz, and I thought I hit the jackpot. So Joe, say hello to everyone, because I'm sure some people may not know you, and vice versa with me with your people.
No, I'm really grateful to be here and grateful to be talking to you today, John. We always have fun together, and certainly a good topic for today. To talk about the language of spirit. It's important, and hopefully it's helpful to people for whether you're trying to communicate with your own family members or you're trying to help other people communicate with them.
Right.
It's really, really important. So yeah, I'm just out here. I'm in my studio where I do some painting and some things, and do a lot of my readings here. And it's quiet as can be out here. I love it, and but I do miss New England, so I'll be heading back to Cape Cod tomorrow. So that'll be good. But yeah, that's what's going on, and I'm glad.
Yeah, but he's being modest, everyone. Joe is an amazing medium. Okay, he's an amazing medium and a spirit artist. And a spirit artist is someone. Now, when I'm doing mediumship, everyone, it's by mental. It's mental mediumship. Meaning, and some people get confused too, Joe. Well, first of all, everyone, I was at Circles of Wisdom about a week and a half ago, and I did a demonstration, and it was a small group, and it just flowed, Joe. It was one of those nights where everything was connecting. It's not about me. The room was great. The people were great. The people on the other side were great. It was a beautiful, like Janet Nohabik says, it was a beautiful cocktail that was mixed perfectly. And all the images just flowed, and it just flowed. It was a beautiful night. There were tears, there was laughter, and I got a buzz from it because I get a high from when spirit works through me. But a woman came up to me afterwards, and everyone, this is why we're doing this on Facebook for you, the language of spirit. how do the people on the other side really communicate? She asked me, she goes, how are they communicating with you? Well, that could take for a while, but a lot of people, Joe, don't understand this. When I'm connecting with someone who no longer has a physical body, they have a spirit body, they have a spirit mind, spirit. So when they send me a word, an image, or a feeling, it's not going into my physical brain per se, it's my spiritual mind. So see, Joe, some people don't understand that, right? So then there's many ways that they communicate, whether it's feelings, words, images. So we wanted to come on here, and Joe being an artist and me being artistic, not as good as him, but you never know. That's for me. That's right. What I say. So and with Joe being an artist and myself a medium, we're both mediums. We just wanted to come on here and tell you a couple of stories of how those people come through, and give you some tips also on how to work with the visual side of this too, right, Joe?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And all the senses are gonna tell you something. They're all gonna impose an image, if you will. So we're talking about a language of the heart. We're talking about a language that is of awareness. So it's centered in the consciousness of who we are, and way back where we actually become aware of things very instantly. And over time, if you have a language and you build upon your own language and what it means to you, then that language comes very easily, and you begin to communicate in a much more easy way than trying to grab at things or guess at things. It really becomes quite beautiful after a while.
Right. And it's a lot for me. And usually there's a saying, okay. You've heard this before. One picture can speak 1,000 words. And it is so, so true, everyone. When you understand symbolism, colors, when you understand colors and images and shapes, they can use that on the other side. And some of you may say, but I'm not visual. Okay. Let me address that, Joe. Someone can still feel a tree and see. It's weird, Joe, too. I say to people, sometimes I hear the pictures. It's like, I know it's not like I'm not seeing the tree, the word tree. It's spirit. There's a communication. There's an intelligence to the other side, everyone. They know what they're doing. They're far more intelligent than we are, trust me. So they know how to get through. But when I get an image, it's the same image, meaning over and over again. And I've learned to understand what it means. And if I'm doing mediumship or psychic work, I don't need to say, well, what does this mean to you? Unless it's a symbol that I've never understood. The words just come. So it's rapid fire also. And, right, Joe?
It is right. And it's spirit's in a place of awareness. That's consciousness. So they have tons of knowledge. We're talking about a place of intelligence, but it's no less intelligence than we have. We're spirit ourselves, living this human life. The problem is we've got all this distraction in between, and all this life that we're living in this planet, and all the craziness that goes on in life itself. And we need to kind of move through that into this place of awareness where we become aware of what's going on. So you could hear the rustling of trees and know it's trees, hearing it in your mind, just feeling that breeze of in a forest when you know it. So seeing the image of it, just the tops of trees or forest in the distance. And what it's going to do is it's going to either spawn a memory, it's going to spawn an association with something, or it's going to be actually trees, a place that we want to go to a place, somewhat like a remote viewing. We're there and we see exactly what's going on. It could be something in the past, it could be something in the present, it could be something in the future. But we begin to feel and know the language of ourselves and how it works within us so well that it becomes clear communication after a while.
That's right. And we teach people too, Joe and I, mind mapping. That's another technique where you see the picture. The picture literally basically comes alive and tells you its story. It's truly fascinating. And you don't need to be an artist, Joe, or artistic ability. Spirit knows how to get your attention. Like for one time, remember, Spirit will use whatever's in my mind, everyone. Everything I've studied, every place I've been, every memory, every picture I've seen, everything. And maybe even some television shows too. Like for instance, John Edward, he worked at a video store. He's great with movie titles when they give him names like Tootsie or or different names, and it means something to the person. Or someone might say, God, I had a non-Tootsie. All right. Oh, but that's the Dustin Hoffman movie. He was also a phlebotomist, so he knows medical terms. Now, nurses in my family are big. So I always know when I'm communicating with the nurse or I'm talking to a nurse, because I just, it's weird, Joe. I'll get a Red Cross. It doesn't mean the Red Cross like it means now, going to different countries. But yet there's a feeling of white with it. And if you're saying you're not visual, your soul, your spirit, there are if you're not, the other senses will kick in to help you if you don't understand something, because it's rapid. It happens quite fast. One time I was reading for this woman, and all I got was a rubber duck, Joe. Now I don't have a rubber duck in the house. My dog doesn't have a rubber duck. I don't bathe with I don't bathe with the rubber duck. So that's one time that wasn't in my psychic database or my library of information that I have stored in my, my consciousness or my head. So I had to ask her. I said, okay. I said, would you understand why your uncle is giving me a rubber ducky, a rubber duck? She says, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I said, what? She said, when I was a kid, she could never pronounce Uncle Douglas. So he was always Uncle Ducky. And she knew it. And I'm like, that's it. Now, I don't make it fit just because she said yes. But what else? If he was called Uncle Ducky, spirit's on the other side. I almost look at it like a computer, Joe. Let's check his database and say, oh, well, look, he knows what a rubber duck is. So they gave me that. They impressed me with the rubber duck. And it happens over and over. And Niagara Falls to me means upper state New York or Canada. It does not mean Niagara Falls to me, or romance or a generator. And when I see a red maple leaf, because I worked for the Canadians, to me, it's always Canadian. And I don't say, what's with the red maple leaf to the person. I'd be like, oh, you're from Canada. You got the connections in Canada. I said, they're showing me. And they say, absolutely. And you got the same symbols, Joe, that come over and over again. Yes.
We all have very, very similar symbols. What we need to do though is put our own experience with those symbols to use. Right. So we're not trying to copy somebody else's understanding of that symbol. That's right. No two of us are alike. We live very similar lives. We all have the same pain, the same betrayals, the same hurts, the same laughter. But it's when we become aware that's what that means to me immediately. When I see Niagara Falls, I think of power, and I think of this is a powerful place, but it's one of the 7 wonders. So I think of the number 7. It's the way it comes to me quickly, and that's what it means to me for now. Now I can go around and look for other things that it might mean if I want to kind of open it up and open up the communication a little bit more. But just because it means one thing to you and something else to me doesn't mean that either one of them are wrong. It means they're both right for us. So it's our language. It's a personal, a very, very intimate and very intricate communication language for us. It's having a second language, if you will, or a third, whatever you may have. But that language with spirit is so connected, spirit to spirit, awareness to awareness, that we begin to have it as second nature. And the minute we work on it to the point where it is second nature, it's just automatic. And it makes it so much easier. We're not wasting our time trying to think about, okay, where did I see Niagara Falls? There was something in a book somewhere that said what Niagara Falls means. So I got to go to, that book and page 73 and paragraph 4. And by the time we try to do all that with memorization of what other people say things mean, we've lost our cool, we've lost our place, we're not in the zone anymore. We're in our practical minds trying to think about it. Therefore, we're not doing mediumship. We can't be, because we're not in the right place. So the only way to do this is to really come to own who you are and what you're all about and how you see things and how you see the symbol, and own it for yourself. It may be secret to you. So what? It is your private language in a way. You know what it means to you. You don't have to go explaining to everybody. You get something in your head, and maybe you get a sports car in your head, and all it means to you is fast. So how does somebody die? They die fast. Because a sports car came into my head. I don't exactly talk about the details of the sports car unless I feel I need to. That's right. You see? So it's really, and once we get used to seeing how important it really is, because these are significant symbols and signs, and even color, a general color that we see. There's a lot of blue around us here today, John, which is right. Cool. Yeah. I think the color. Okay. So when we get that blue, it's going to mean one thing to one person, something else to another, and it may be negative, positive. But to all of us, we might have a negative or a positive memory or association with it. So we should try to look both ways and feel, is this a positive blue, or is this feeling like a darker blue and
That's
more
right.
like, more somber, if you will? And when we begin to understand those feelings, those sensitivities, we begin to really speak in a beautiful language.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
too, when I went, Joe, when I was studying in England, not just at the Arthur Findlay College, but I did study there for 2.5 years with other mediums too.
Right.
Symbols weren't really brought up so much, or color. I learned that later, but I could see a color everyone. And green means to me healing, or you're a healer. To Joe, it may mean something else, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's absolutely. And and with Joe being a spirit artist, what I love about his work, besides drawing portraits of your loved ones. So imagine that you go to a spirit artist and they start talking about your mom, and he's never seen a picture of her, never, doesn't even know who you are, and he starts drawing, and then he turns around and there's an image of your mom, and he also does orograms. So are they orograms, Joe, or autographs?
Autographs. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll show you guys that too. It's different
Mhm.
symbols that Joe sees around people, but everybody can do this. All right. Once you understand the formula and mind mapping, and so that's why I love teaching it, and I'm always learning. And Joe, I so respect you because you're one of the most versed teachers. The stories that he comes out with and the careers that this gentleman has. So Spirit has a ton of stuff that they can use with Joe, from a restaurant owner to a realtor to a captain on a boat. So it is fascinating, and I'm always amazed, Joe, of how it happens. Now, I just want to show you everyone how Spirit is so wise. When I was doing big events with Hales, we're talking 3,000 people, Joe, right?
Right.
At the halls. So in my mind now, for the older people, you remember Gilligan's Island, yes? Okay. So I'm doing a demonstration. A young girl was coming through, a young woman, and 30s, and right away they showed me Gilligan's Island. It wasn't the boat, it wasn't Skipper. I saw the island, the opening Gilligan's Island, and right away I knew. I said, would someone understand a young woman is coming through who got stranded on an island? Not who's Gilligan, who's Ginger, who's the professor? Did you like Ginger or Marianne? Right? So none of that. And sure, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, who's got it? Sure enough, a hand raised. And their daughter was out on a scuba diving, and she was on an island. And somehow she got separated from from her crew, or from the people that she was diving with, or she went too far. And the water on this little jetty of an island came, and she didn't have the tanks or something. And sadly, she passed away. Right. So, but sorry that the woman passed away, but the spirit knew, she knew, how can we just give them the island? All right. And this happens. It's like, you just know after a while, after you know a formula. And I just find it fascinating, Joe. I really, really do. So that was one of my, outrageous ones.
And it's always a wonderful learning experience, even for us that have been doing this for a long time. I mean, new things happen all the time, and they're just incredible. I mean,
that's right.
I believe Spirit tries to teach us, and the more we show reverence towards what we're doing and serving them, the more they help us, the more they jump in to kind of open us up to see things, and we're not as restricted, and we're not as frightened about trying to get it or not,
Right.
we really become much more easygoing with it all. I've had so many different things where either a taste or a smell or something, and an imagery comes to my mind. I had one time where I was just tasting, there's rust in my mouth. I was like, what is that? Just rust, like a rusty piece of metal. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in the back seat of a Chevy where the cooler of beer was, and I feel like I'm all wet because I'm sitting and crushed through the styrofoam cooler. And there's 2 boys on either side, and the 2 boys in the front, and 1 out on the ground, and the radio's playing. I could tell you the song, and I could walk around the car and tell you the license plate, all because I was moved by something. And what is it? It's just a taste of something that begins the thought process and begins it all coming. And it just unfolds from there, if you will. It's amazing sometimes.
Yeah. And you see, everyone, it's not, when people pass over, for those who are mediums and psychics, and this, but those who don't understand how it works, the language of spirit too, they have no voice box anymore on the other side. So they have to use their thought to my thought. So it's thought to thought. It's basically telepathy, mental to mental, spirit to spirit, from spirit through spirit to spirit, right? Meaning the person that we're doing the reading for. So they have to project their thoughts, whether it's a word that they project, images, or feelings. And that's how we do this. And that's when we have to make ourselves sensitive to pick up that communication, to understand it. And it is an unfoldment. It's an unfoldment, but you can be taught this also. But I don't want to waste too much time, guys, because I know you all have a busy day here. But Joe, do you mind if we bring up something I want to show people?
Sure, whatever you want.
Okay. Medical intuition is starting to happen with me. I didn't seek it out. It's always been there. I knew people in the medical field. So now instead of, I'm teaching my students. So I'm not as, I know, I just know some ailments, or I know someone has a polyp or different parts of the body that's going on, or I'll see a scar or something. It's just happening. So what's my responsibility as a medium, everyone? To educate myself more medically. So I came up with, if a medium was working, everyone, if you're a student of this work or a psychic, instead of saying, why am I picking up here? Or what's there? Like, why do I have a pain there? Or what's with this area? Why not understand the body part or the organ, right? So Laura, so I got one of these. Now look at this. It's a simple form of the human body. Now, there are more that show vascular veins and blood vessels, but this is basic. All right. It's a basic drawing. And I give this out in my class, Joe, to say, so see what the pancreas is? That's the liver. That's the kidneys. That's the esophagus. That's the stomach. There's the brain. So as a medium or a psychic, instead of saying, point to that, if you educate yourself, you put that image in your data bank, into your mind, so it's settled in there, it can always be shown. So you'll know it's the pancreas or the liver. So now, Joe, I know if it's liver cancer, pancreatic, intestinal, gastritis, diverticulosis, because they're using some of the illness that I went through with diverticulosis. So I educate myself. And I don't know about you, Joe. I'm not good with, thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. I'm not good with directions.
Right.
I came out of, I don't know how I was even made it out of my mother. I keep saying, Ma, did I come out feet first or what? I just don't have that magnetic. And people joke, well, you're a psychic. Don't you know where you're going? No, guys, I'm still a man, right? Some people are good at it. So I bought one of those puzzles. Instead of drawing the map and I'm doing a reading for someone, what's over here if I go into the middle of the country? So I got one of those kids' puzzles that are made out of wood, right? Yeah. And it's a 50 states. And so I have me training myself to know where the states are.
Right.
Because if I say to someone, where's Wyoming? Some people are like, where's the North Dakota? We know where New York is. We know where California is. We know where Arizona is. You know where Florida is. But all that in the middle, sometimes I get confused. So I'm doing that puzzle so I can say, who's from South Carolina? Who's from North Dakota? Who's from Alabama? Who's from Montana? Now, I have been to some of these states, and Spirit can use that. So I'm educating myself, and there are ways to be taught that too. I want to show people, Joe, one of your autographs. All right. Okay. Sure. Now, this is what Joe does when he's doing a reading for somebody in a deeper way. Okay. Now, what are we looking at, Joe?
This is an autograph I did quite a while ago, so one of the more simple ones, not as involved as some, but the symbols of, you see a dolphin down below, you see the trees, the cliffs, the waterfall itself, a bridge over to the other side, basically. You see the Arc de Triomphe, like that arc, and basically
Arc de Triomphe in Paris.
Yeah, well, actually, it's actually what it is the way I remembered something in Washington Square Park in Manhattan. So I got the sense I was in Manhattan, and this person was a city person, and all that. You certainly have religious symbols that have their own meaning, their archetypal meaning that people put towards them. That's a Christian cross. It's a Star of David. It's Jewish, whatever the case may be. You have those influences, but they also have a spiritual meaning to them. So I kind of look for those, and you'll see even down in the left-hand corner, there's an image of a person coming through that sometimes slipping into mediumship from more of a psychic type reading into the mediumship and really being influenced by spirit. But you see a shell there with the eye in the middle,
That's
and
right.
the whole thing is a face. If you look very closely down from the kitty cat all the way up is the head of a person, and that is usually how I start. Like, where is the mind? Where are things going? You see a rooster here. You see a horse. The power of a horse. The movement forward from left to right is how we read here in the West. And Eastern countries, it's a different direction.
Right.
The way that people read and things. But it's the way I read. I trust what I'm getting. I trust what's going on with me, and it's very important for me to kind of stay in it and have the images unfold themselves, come to me, if you will. The trees on the left show that there's a fraction or a fracturing of the family quite a while ago. The trees are not exactly together. They're growing up, and then one kind of dissipates and disappears while the other one continues to go up. That's the family tree, and it shows that things happened. Even there's a Christmas tree in the back, and you'll know that could be. And I don't remember the whole reading, but that could either be,
Right.
the Christmas tree downtown in Manhattan, or it could be that something very significant happened around December of the year and with this particular person. And so the whole thing becomes an affirmation for people to show where they were on the left-hand side to where they are now, which is somewhere near the center, to where they're going, which is the right-hand side of the picture. And this flow of tears off the eye above the horse there, you'll see the flow of tears. Those are tears of joy, and I always call them that. That's my way of seeing them.
Yeah.
And so there's several tears of joy coming in their life, but you'll also see birds in the sky, and sometimes seagulls mean to me, they mean sacrifice, they mean endurance, they mean really fortitude, coming back again, really being able to survive and thrive and re-up, if you will, go again. So all these different types of things can come in, and there's many symbols in here that depict that person's family, if you will.
Right, and these
across the picture, that's kind of odd. Another person sitting there that is kind of into it in the heart. So many things that make up all of us. So where they come from is from the person I'm reading. I'm reading them and their life, their soul journey from the beginning to where they're going. So, and what I talk about is the details of their life that I could not have known, and then talk about where we feel that they're going to give them choices in the future. It's not saying like a crystal ball, oh, this is going to happen. No, it's like these are the things that could happen based on your choices, based on what you want in your life. And we do this with mediumship too, because with mediumship, we kind of reading the person on the other side. What was their life like? Who are they? We want detailed evidence of who they are. We don't want just fluffy generalizations.
Right.
Who are you? Tell me about yourself. Let me know. And sometimes we don't get the verbal, as you said. We don't get the clear audience, if you will. They're not telling us exactly paragraphs of information.
That's right.
But symbols and signs and colors and emotions are telling us a lot of things. Just like you were talking about, where do I know how do I know where I am? We have a sense called proprioception, where we know where we are in association with anywhere else. It's really a sign and a feeling and an emotion, but basically a sensation of our own GPS. We know where we're at. And the more we become aware of these things, the more we work on these things, the more we educate ourselves. Like you said, John, I can't agree more. We should be, if we're going to be mediums, we should be consummate students, learning everything we can about everything we can.
That's right.
And if we do, we're giving tools and fodder and information for the spirit world to find within us and bring to our awareness, which then brings us into the whole story.
This is all for service, everyone, too. And like with me, Joe, because I know dogs now, because of my dog, I really got into dogs and working with vets and the Coda Fund. And I know breeds. I'm at the park 3 or 4 times a day. I love dogs. So I know breeds now. So maybe not all of them. So instead of a medium saying, oh, you have a dog, That's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, because you can hear the dog, and people get more excited sometimes when their animal comes through than their own mother, which is fantastic. But now I can say, oh, you have the Weimaraner, you have the West Highland Terrier, you have the Beagle, and they're like, oh my God, it's more evidence, not for me to show off. It's more evidence for the person who we're reading for, everyone, mediumistically or psychically, that they know, oh my God, that really is my people, or you really do know me. When Joe draws that autograph, everyone, he knows whether he's good because he can draw it. That's one of his abilities. But he may see it also when he's not drawing, that horse, that eye, that arc of the building.
Yeah,
Everyone.
it's impressed upon you. I might just hear a horse in my head.
That's right.
I might smell a horse barn in my head, and I know, that's a symbol. It doesn't have to be a picture necessarily. You could be a stick drawer. It doesn't matter. You've got the imagery one way or the other.
Right. And it's a new language, everyone. You're like, well, why can't I just do it? There is a formula to it and a language. And just really quickly, Laura, if there's any questions that pertain to what we're talking about, you can float it up here. I was doing a workshop with Joe Shiel, not at Circles of Wisdom. He and I are going to be together there in October, but at Moth and Moon, that's no longer there. But I had a medium, someone was the medium, and somebody was the student. Was the recipient or the client. All right. And so the woman says, I feel like I have an aunt here, and they're showing me an apple. And the woman who was getting the reading, now this is just students working with each other. She said, oh, apple. I know what that is. She's from New York. Now that's the client who was playing the clients in it. And I said, wait a minute. What does an apple mean to you? The one who was acting as the medium. She said, an apple to me always means a teacher, not New York. The person sitting there goes, my aunt was a teacher. So I say to the person here, the other student, let her interpret what her symbols are. And because she was right on, it had nothing to do with New York. That woman who was acting as the medium in the exercise, apples always mean to her. To you, it might mean New York. To you, it might mean apple pies. Yeah.
To thine own self be true. You know what it means to you. So that's where you can be positive about your information. That's where you can be confident in your mediumship, because you know what it means. If you're trying to guess what it means to the client, you're going to go way off the track. You're going to end up in a lot of trouble, because you're trying to please and not trying to be real within you. And that's really the most important.
CEO is asking, so the other side, spirit has no voice box. No, there's no physical voice box anymore, right? It's thoughts, it's words. And I know people who have passed over and been resuscitated and come back, they're talking to their loved ones, but the lips aren't moving. All right. So there's no physical voice, man. There's no physical voice we hear. Someone could say the name to me, Michael. A spirit on the other side can project the name Michael to me, CEO, and I get it. Because it's from their spiritual mind to my spiritual mind, which is over my physical body. See, it's not just there is technique to it also. Laura, is there any? I guess if there was a question, guys.
There is direct voice. There is direct voice, which is using something in the atmosphere or something in the room in the physical as the voice, as the vibration of the voice box. It's never sentences or paragraphs, but it could be a name out loud, or it could be something very simple out loud. Yeah.
Sarah says, do either of you have a particular sign from spirit you receive regularly? I may see a certain number, and I know that spirit's nearby, or I'm making the right decision about something. And I don't worry about what the numbers say, 1111, 419, 222, 444. I always say, Joe, what was I thinking just before I saw that number? But yes, Sarah, we see them regularly if we're reading for clients. I don't see one every single day. From spirit, because there's a lot of, so what do you, right, Joe?
Right. I have certain things that I see all the time. I'll tell you, ever since my friend Robin died, I was driving to the Buffalo airport to bring Lloyd Auerbach. We had done the class together, and over the weekend, and so I was bringing him to the airport, and I was desperate. It was the same, it was only a week later after Robin had died, and I was like anybody else. I'm grieving my backside off. I'm crazy. Sure. So I'm driving him, and some guy cuts me off in a little sports car. So I'm getting angry. I'm getting all road rage, I'm going crazy, So I start chasing him, and Lloyd's just checking for his flight on his phone, so he didn't even notice. But I'm upset, and this guy just almost killed us both, so I'm kind of upset. But I'm asking in my head the whole way on the highway, I'm asking Robin, what do I do now? What do I do now that you're gone? How the heck am I going to live my life without you around, somebody to talk to, somebody I can talk to? What am I
Right.
going to do now? I catch up with the car, and on the back of the license plate, it says SAILJPS. So JS, I mean. So I have a picture of that license plate. I took it with my phone because what it said to me was sail, Joe Shiel, which is my favorite pastime, which I hadn't been able to do since she was in hospice.
Sale, he loves
So,
boats, guys.
so I left him at the airport, and I went and I got in my sailboat and took off and doing sailing. I mean, it's almost blatant sometimes.
That's
I'll
right.
to you. So
Yeah.
I try to be aware of everything around me, and I try to see through just the presence of it. Okay, so I see a tree. Okay, it's a tree, big deal. Or is it mean something else? Am I looking close enough? Am I seeing the branches and how they embrace me? Am I seeing the love within that? Am I seeing the nature and growth? Am I judging it for how it makes me really feel? That's when life becomes more interesting. That's when our lives and our maturity or our spirit just begins to blossom. And mediumship, more than anything else I've ever found in my life, has brought me to a place of more intelligence, more understanding, more
Right.
peace in my own heart.
Right.
You know,
And somebody, Anne Marie is asking, how does spirit know what an apple or whatever a symbol means to us? Sometimes everyone, when you're learning to practice, we teach this to students too. When you work with each other and there's symbols, what does that symbol mean to me? And
right?
it will, because we do readings over and over again, it's the same symbol. I used to get a bouncing ball every time I knew there were kids in the house. All right. So, and basically it still stays the same. Now, through experience of many years of doing this, I know when there's a kid in the house, they're talking about a kid. So there's an intelligent though, Anne Marie. They know how to work with us. All right. Because for me, because I worked for the Canadians, Anne Marie, a maple leaf on their flag to me and on the letterhead is Canada. So they know that I know what that symbol is. And I have to say, I used to get every once in a while, I would get a Webster's dictionary in front of me when I read for people. I had to keep asking, what does that mean to me? Is the last name Webster? Does somebody like a book? Does somebody have old dictionaries? Nope, 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 nope. Finally, it means wordsmith. It means someone that's really good at words. All right. Now, me being a writer and an author, you think it would show me doing my books? No, that's going to be their symbol for that, and I'll watch for that also. Right, Joe? So if spirit works with you, how do they know what it means to you, an apple?
It's because we give them within
Life
ourselves and in our
experience.
lives. We give them a system to work with.
That's right.
So they pick out of the system. It's like you with the puzzle of the United States. You've given them a system to kind of pick where you're at, and that's the system we hand them. We could hand them, a lot of mediums are taught to use clocks, okay, as a system, if you will. So
Right.
one, it could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. It could be January, February, March, April, May, June. And just the clock itself is a system to notice, and just it brings our awareness to it. And there we are. We're right in it. And that's how the language works subtly, as long as we're paying attention and as long as we practice. And I do mean this sincerely. You got to work at making the second nature and having it just become part of your day, part of what you do. And then it becomes much more easy to deal with. You're not trying to remember things. You're not trying to struggle with things.
And it's just like another language. Now, you may not have to spend 4 years in college like you have to learn Italian or Spanish, but it is getting to know the flow. You don't have to have artistic ability, because a tree, to me, is a tree to you. Whether if you're seeing it, you're feeling it. But if you want a communication for yourself, everyone, right? Notice what is, and some of you are going to say, this never happens to me. Watch your dreams. There's a lot of symbols in your dream. Write them down. A lot of people get images from tarot cards. All right. And it's the tarot card. When I work with the tarot, it's the symbols that pop out to me, not in the book. What does priestess mean? What does the Three of Swords mean? It's the symbols in there that get it, and it's a great training tool. But watch your dreams and watch the symbols in your dreams. And some of you may say, I never dream. You do. All right. You have to, because it does happen. But before your foot touches the floor, just have a piece of paper beside you or a journal. Write down what you remember from your dream before you turn on your phone, before you hop on TikTok, before your foot touches the floor, so you can still stay in that dream state also. And watch for the if your dad loved trains, okay, it doesn't mean to go hunt for trains, but if you're thinking of your dad and the train goes right by, that's your dad's symbol for you. All right. Your mom loved red cardinals. Granted, we all love cardinals, but if that's her symbol, and you know that, somebody gives you, like I give out stained glass cardinals to people, red cardinals to people, or if you see one, that's their symbol. Know what the symbols are. Say, and if you're not sure if a loved one is sending that, did you send me that? Ask again. What tip do you have for Joe on a symbolic level, Joe, that people can start becoming aware of? Who aren't studying mediumship?
Well, people have symbols of all kinds. They have the ones they grew up with, and they just know, like a stop sign or like a cross or like a Star of David. These are things that we're familiar with, we know, and they give us a certain feeling or a certain memory in our lives, and it's important. It's wonderful. But we also can set up symbols for ourselves, things that we want to know, to kind of remind us of better feelings, of better days, more luck, all kinds of things that we can have. So we can set ourselves up with some really nice things that we're just going to notice throughout the day. We don't go forcing it. We just allow it to come to us. And you can watch the synchronicity of that and know that you're part of the universe. You're part of the real movement of things. You're not so much going with the flow as you're in the flow, allowing things to flow over you, and you're noticing those things that actually aid your life and bring you forward, not those that are going to hinder you or tear you down.
Yeah. It's amazing, guys. And like I said, when it comes to colors and symbols and shapes and images, there's an intelligence to the spirit world, but not just the spirit world, everyone. You are a psychic sentient being. It's in there. It's not just for predictions. If you, I knew a woman who was going to buy a computer, use one from a friend. She goes, should I buy it or not? She just paused. Always pause and ask before you act. She saw an X across the computer. Sure enough, he sold it to somebody else, the person who was selling it, and the motor fried in it like 3 months later. She would have bought that, but she asked for it. She knows X means no. Green may mean something else to somebody. It's getting into there. I love working with symbols and colors and images, and even though not a lot of people don't have the artistic ability, don't need that. That's why, but Joe, I know you're coming up here in October after we do our demonstration where Joe draws and I do my mediumship. But we got a workshop coming up at Circles of Wisdom. Where else, right? Signs, symbols, and images, understanding the language of spirit. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that, Joe. But
we've always had such great people there. I mean,
my God. Yep. It's a whole new technique, Joe, for some people. There it is right there. And Kathy's wonderful at the Circles of Wisdom. There's restaurants, and we keep it small enough, guys, and spacious enough because of the pandemic, and so it's because you have to be safe too, right? But it's we'll follow the guidelines. But what I said to Kathy, we're so passionate about this workshop. Because it'll come, and you're thinking, oh, I have time in October. No, not really. I said, Joe, let's just knock the price down, just for an early bird special till August 15th. And it's $80 less. So if you're interested, everyone, if you're drawn to this, if something sparks, or you saw a color or a sign, you'd like to, it's good to have some basic knowledge of mediumship and psychic ability. Let us show you some formulas, mind mapping, mind focus, colors, how to get one symbol, and everything comes together in interpretation in seconds. I love when students do this, Joe, because then there's the linking and then the blending. One color you can link to somebody on the. Look at me. It's like, can't we do this tomorrow, Joe? Why do we have to wait till October? All right. So sign symbols and images. And it's 2 days, and it's 2 days with us, the two of us. So, and I am so looking forward. So if you feel like you want to, if it resonates with you, everyone, then just check it out. We'll put a link right in there. But I wanted to come on here. I didn't mean to go this long, but you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. So think about it, everyone, too, as you go through your day. Signs, symbols, and images. Why do I keep seeing a sunflower in my mind? Why do I ask yourself, what does a sunflower mean to me? What is a sunflower? I'm only saying sunflower because there's a big JPEG on here of a sunflower. To me, it means two things: sunflower, or actually sunflower, or the name Sunny Joe. It's actually three things. Or the song, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when sky goes gray." Now, when I'm with someone, if I say, "You understand the sunflower in the song?" They're like, "Oh my God," right? That's the song that their dad sang to them too. So, and then you want to end with, my friend Joe, for people to go through their day about symbols and art and shapes.
I think I think if you just begin to be more aware of the symbols around you and things. I mean, we've got a whole ton of them right here on, when you go on your phone, and
That's
there's
right.
all kinds of apps and everything else. I mean, there's symbols everywhere, there's signs everywhere.
That's right.
It's a matter of kind of owning them for yourself, knowing what gels with you, what really moves you, and embracing it with the love that's there for you, because it's all right there in the universe for you. It's just a matter of aligning your spirit.
That's right.
We live a difficult physical life sometimes, but we're so much more than that. We're
That's right.
so much more, and there's so much more information than that. And I think it's just great. And when John and I get together, we have a blast because I don't know what it is that we attract really great people with good questions and good stuff, and they share with each other and teach each other as well. It's just incredible. So I'm looking forward to it, John.
Right, me too. And one last hint for you, everyone. I know Tony does this. You see an image and you just put it. If you don't have time to meditate before you do psychic work or mediumship work, you can actually bring a symbol to your third eye. I think Tony his is a flying crow or something. You may have a star, a pyramid. That will always be your symbol to know, like, okay, I'm opening it up right now. Okay, that's my sin. That's what I do, anyways, Joe. Of course,
Right.
Yeah. So thank you both for sharing. Oh, no problem, Donna Dawn. Oh, cool, right? Donna Dawn. Dee Dee, right? So, Laura, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Laura.
And it's okay to put a little color in your life, everyone. All right. Let us help you, give you some unfoldment, or you do the work on your own. All right. But it is October. I can hear people. When is it? When is it? There's going to be a link there, guys. October 15th and 16th in Methuen, Massachusetts. And I guess it's just before school starts. So there are hotels in there that are booking up already. So everyone, take advantage of that August 15th. I look forward to it. And this is not online. It's in person. Okay. In person, which we haven't done together, Joe, in a while. So I am looking forward to it, all being safe and everything too. So, Joe, I love you, man. I love you, man.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Laura. Have a soul-filled day, everybody. All right, JohnHolland.com, JoeShiel.com. All right, bye. The link, we'll put the link right in there for you. Bye. Signs, symbols, and images. Bye, Joe.
Bye-bye, John.